Good afternoon and welcome to this week's edition of Midweektea. Today we want to talk about parenting and how we can support what we're doing with the school as parents. When we talk about parenting, we're talking about everything you support your child with, mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, being present, as they say, for the child, being there for the child. And parenting has to be deliberate, it has to be consistent. It's not a hit and miss, it's not a trial and error. You don't do something today and another day the child does not see it. It's a deliberate thing. Some few points we want to encourage our parents to also do with the children. One, actively listen to what your children have to say. It's important that you listen. Many children tell us, when I was telling my mom, she was tired, she was sleeping, she was watching television, she was on the phone and all that. There must be time for daily reflections with your children. There must be time set aside when you ask them how the day has been, what their frustrations are, what are they happy about, how did the day go. Those daily reflections are necessary in this era where there seems to be some form of social tension in the air with all what is happening. Children internalize COVID differently, and many times the outcomes you see could be aggression, bullying, anxiety, confusion, withdrawal, all kinds of things, because they don't know how to put it, how to give vent to the expressions of the things they're feeling. And so it's important that those daily reflections will help them to relieve tension and stress. It's important to show good judgment and stick to your rules. If there are rules you have as a parent for a child, don't have a separate set of rules today, a separate set of rules tomorrow. Together with the child, you agree on the rules. These are the 5 things we will do regularly, and you agree. Not when the child offends you, you change the rule and then because of so. That's a different thing. The consequences for each thing is different, and so it's important that they see that we are doing that. You must also be a good role model and a good person. Children copy what they see. Children imitate, and they don't forget the things you say, the things you do. They remember, and many times they want to copy you. So let's try and be good role models. What we want to see our children turn out to be in life, let's begin to model it for them, because we are teaching them. Our lives are an open book that they are reading, and they are learning and picking and thinking that is the way to do things. So let's get it right for them. It's also important that you are always in control of your emotions. If there's something that can help you, if you need to count 1 to 10 to calm down, if you need to say maybe the Lord's Prayer, Our Father who art in heaven, if there's anything you need to do to calm down, because it is in the atmosphere of calm that you can rationally handle a child, not out of anger. So let's try and see how we do that. Also show lots of love. It's important that children feel and know and see those emotions that they are feeling it. And so parenting is a two-way communication with the child. So it's not just one way, it's all what you say. In our era, it was one way, I would say. I don't think in our own era we dare challenge our parents or we dare question anything they said. But in the era where we have information overload and all kinds of things happening, you need to have a form of conversation with the children. That does not take away the fact that you are the parent and you should be firm and you should insist on the right things that are good for them. That doesn't take that away. It's important that that happens. And so we hope we'll be able to go along with that. It's also important that the parent and the school work hand in hand for the good of the child. We have seen cases where when the school and the parent are together on the same page, the child has nowhere to hide under because the school will not condone, the parent will not condone. And so because it's an open communication, transparent, accountable, and both are working together for the best interest of the child succeeds. In all instances that I have seen, a good understanding between the home and the school is a win-win for the child. So the child knows that, these two, I can't hide. This is how it's going to be. So it's important that we do that so that our children can succeed. Children face challenges daily. And so many times when you are trying to deal with their challenges, you also need to use each challenge and no matter how you want to deal with it, is an opportunity to teach them something. Lessons must be learned, and that is how they pick and they learn as they go along. So many times you just don't shout and beat without giving an opportunity to tell why this was wrong, why this is what you should have done, and why you even ask them, don't you think if you had done it this way, or which better way do you think this would have been handled? Because lessons are being learned as we go along. So let's try and make sure that together we are helping the children. The school, I don't think there's any school that wants to have a record of, this child is always doing this child is always doing that. No school reveals in that. Neither do I think any parent will be happy that each time they are calling their child for this. But parents should note that they are the first primary caregivers of their children. The children will learn from the parents first everything they need to know before they step into the school system. And so let's role model wisely for them. Thank you very much, and hope we go on and be good role models, not only as parents, also as teachers. See you next week.